Hi guys, this is Vidas and welcome to another training. Today I'm delighted to be able to teach you about how to read different clefs, basically 10 clefs. I made a score with 10 sets of lines and we'll use one melody in all these systems. Okay, and first of all, why do you need so many clefs and how many there are, right? Why do we need clefs? Changing clefs is important because we can transpose music easily if we just write it on the same line but using different clef. We don't need ledger lines this way. Okay, so that's very important in improvisation. For example, if the theme is given to you and you want to transpose the theme into many other keys, you just switch to other keys, other clefs, so to say. Okay. So let's see how many we have. Today, in 21st century, we only use treble clef and the bass clef on the keyboard, and only two other clefs in orchestral playing, like alto and tenor. There are certain instruments which play on the alto clef, like viola, or the tenor clef, like sometimes cello plays on the tenor clefs. Sometimes I believe bassoon can also play. Yeah, things like that. But yeah, in the past there were 10 different clefs, and I'll tell you and I'll show you what kind of clefs. Here in the Sibelius notation we have entire table to pick up and these clefs. So on the first line there are clefs from the G group, right? Like this, like this G group. On the treble clef, it's written on the second line, right? And it always denotes treble G. There are other G clefs. For example, if it's written on the first line, French violin clef, what it's called, like this, right here, right? So there are two G clefs. One is treble clef, and the second is French violin clef. Then there are three F clefs. One is the bass clef, right here. Another is let me see, baritone, right here. Both of them denote the note F on that line. In the bass clef case, it's on the fourth line. On the baritone, it's on the middle line. Baritone, yeah. And one more. Let's see if I can find sub-bass, I think, right here. So the F, the tenor F is on the top note, on the top line. Okay, so let's recap. Two G clefs, soprano and the French violin clef, bass clef, baritone and sub-bass clefs. They are all F clefs. And then 5 C clefs. Let's find them. On the first note, right here, on the first line, C, treble C. It's called soprano clef. Then mezzo soprano on the second line. Alto, where is alto? Right here. Right. And then on the fourth line, tenor clef. And on the fifth clef, baritone clef. Same as this baritone clef. This one. Yeah. So, if we use the same melody, I'm going to notate a melody from the Art of Fugue, the theme from the Art of Fugue by Bach. It starts like this. Remember? By the way, this training was requested by my supporter and subscriber Rin Hauptwerk, who wants to know more about these clefs and how to read them. So, like this. Remember this theme? Not this rhythm. Like this. Like this. Let's play. Okay. So this means it's the melody in D minor, obviously. We have treble clef and next to the clef, B flat signature, key signature. And there is 7th raise scale degree right here, C sharp, which is important in harmonic minor mode, right? What happens? Maybe I will use some text. I will use some text. Where is this text? I will add for you our staff text. Yeah, like this. Small text. All right. So let's write treble clef. Okay. Now this will be French violin clef. We don't need this organ, right? French violin. What happens if we write the same melody, right? Copy and paste. Same melody and paste it on another clef. Here are the notes. It's still D, right? Because on the first line is G. On the first ledger line is E, and below it is D. It starts from D, right? So if we if we use the same visual appearance as in the treble clef, right? Where is our text? Treble, like this. Treble. So this is French violin. French violin. And here it's how it sounds. Right. Now C sharp here, we don't need sharp here because it's already E, right? Right. Sometimes we change signatures next to the notes. Okay, so these are two G clefs, treble and violin clefs, French violins. Okay, now the bass clef. What happens if we play the same melody? If we play the same melody, right, and it's like this. Yes, it's like French violin clef actually, but 2 octaves below. So let's call it bass clef. Okay. Bass clef. Now let's put it on the same line. This is baritone clef. Oops, like this. Okay, we need obviously G sharp. So the first note is A, because these 2 dots denote or indicate the tenor F note on that middle line. So middle line is F, below line is D, 1/3 below is B, and then below the first line is A, like this. We need, obviously, we need B natural also, like this. And sub bass, clef, Oh, interesting. Look what it sounds like. It sounds like in D minor. Uh-huh. We don't need additional accidentals. It's in D minor. It's like treble clef, but 2 octaves below. Uh-huh. Interesting idea, right? So we can transpose all these intervals, right? By just changing clefs and putting the melody on the same place in the system. Okay, 3 F clefs, bass, baritone, and sub bass. Then we have 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 C clefs. Let's transpose this melody. Right, and it's the first one is called soprano clef, right? Because the first line is C, middle C, so below is B, or B flat, because there is this flat next to the treble clef, next to the clef. So we don't need this A. Oh, E flat here. One more time. Okay. You see? Next, on the second line is mezzo soprano. Mezzo soprano clef. And if we put it on the same line as the treble clef, so the second line is C, the first line is A, and below is G. It starts from the note G, like this. Obviously, we don't need this clef, but we need F sharp. One more time. Okay. On the middle line, there is alto clef. Alto clef, that's the one which is still used today. So it sounds like the note E. Treble, in the middle, there is middle C. On the third line, on the second is A. On the first line is F, and then E. It starts from the note E. Maybe let's change the key signature into neutral, and it will be easier to do. Yeah, like this. Sub bass without any additional soprano. Yeah, alto, alto. One more time. We don't need. But we need this. One more time. Like this. This clef is used today. In the string quartets, for example, viola part is playing from the alto clef, or string orchestras, or symphonic orchestras, violas. Also, there are other instruments we play from viola clef, which I'm thinking about too. All right. On the fourth line, C is called tenor, tenor clef. And because on this fourth line C, then below A, then below F, then below D, and then the first note is C. We need flats. Or like this. Yes. And the last clef is, of course, called baritone. Baritone. We already had baritone from the F group. On the middle line was F, A, and C. C was on the fifth line, right? So if C is on the fifth line, so counting from the fifth line, C, A, F, D, B, A. And here are the notes that we need to hear. Like this. Baritone. So, interesting review of all these traps, right? Clefs. So, if you don't believe me how it's easy to transpose, you just need to figure out the interval, right? Let's call it, this is D. The first note starting D. The second is F. F also. A. And then D. B. B flat in this case. G. E. C. A. We already had it. All right. So we only have to figure out the intervals. If the given melody for you is in the treble clef, like this, and you want to transpose to F minor, right? Or F major, doesn't matter, right? It could be major, minor, right? So the interval between D and F is a third, major or minor third, doesn't matter, but upwards. Okay, third up. Then here, this is the note F. So if the given melody is D and in the bass clef it reads F, it's also a third up. It doesn't matter which octave, right? You can read it in any octave. Third up. Now, if the given melody is in treble clef, but you want to transpose it from D to A, so it's perfect fifth. It's a fifth up or fourth down. Yes. Let's see. Fourth down, maybe. Then we have same interval, unison. You don't need to transpose from treble clef to sub-bass clef. It reads like treble clef anyway, right? Then soprano clefs, B flat, from D to B flat, it's downward, a third down. Okay, G, mezzo soprano. So fourth up from D to G is a perfect fourth upwards. Alto, E. From D to E is a second up. And from D to C, tenor clef is of course second down. And baritone clef for A, right? From D to A is a fourth down. Okay, I think we have entire table, right? If we need to transpose from the treble clef major or minor second upward, let's look. Second, we use alto clef. You see? Alto clef. If we need to transpose from treble clef to minor or major third upward, we use the bass clef, like this. If we need to transpose from treble clef to perfect fourth or augmented fourth upward, we use mezzo-soprano clef like this. And that's it, because perfect fifth is like inversion of perfect fourth. It will be another direction. And the sixth is inversion of the third, seventh is inversion of the second. We don't need those wider intervals. We only need second, third, and fourth. Upward. We covered that. Now let's do major or minor second downward. Second downward here. Tenor clef is needed to transpose a melody from the treble clef, major or minor second downward. Major or minor third downward is needed to transpose from the treble to soprano clef. And the last one, major perfect fourth down or diminished fourth or augmented fourth. But here we use baritone clef to transpose a melody perfect fourth downward from the treble clef. Yeah. So I hope this was useful to you. How do we train for this? Obviously, we don't play with both hands or even pedals together with different clefs. It takes about a month, 1 month to master one clef. Just remember how you went to early music school as a child, perhaps, or if you started as an adult, maybe somebody told you, here is a treble clef. How long did it take for you to master just one treble clef? 1 month. I'm not saying master completely, but become comfortable in one clef, right? And then if you were introduced, let's say, bass clef, then it takes another month. So 10 months, 10 clefs, and you're done, right? Then, of course, the problem is by switching from one clef to another, it takes more times to get used to the idea. But generally, you should plan your practice by transposing one clef per month. I used this practice while set reading from Bach's Art of Fugue original score. They use soprano clef, alto clef, tenor clef, and the bass clef. 4 voices, 4 parts, 4 different clefs. Yeah, at first I played melodies with single voice, then 2-part combinations, 3-part combinations only. Afterwards, 4 different clefs and 4 different scores, notation in 4-part scores, open score, right? So it takes a while to master it, but I repeat, it's very useful if you want to transpose your melodies into different keys. That's the easiest way, just changing the clefs. Of course, if you want to transpose from D minor, let's say, to F minor, you can just move the melody around the system, right? You put A flat here, E natural here, right? That's also possible, using the same clef, but moving it around on the system. But I find it sometimes too complex because guess what? It requires a lot of ledger lines, changing the melodies on the staff up and down. But if you change the clef, you don't need many ledger lines, maybe one or two, sometimes not even one, right? Where is the alto clef? Alto. The melody is in alto range, right? So therefore it's very comfortable to write it from the note D, right, without any accidentals. You see? No ledger lines. Like this. No ledger lines at all. Like this. So that's an entire theory behind reading 10 different clefs. I hope this was useful. If you want to apply it in your practice, just go ahead and pick a piece of your choice and play one hand at a time in various clefs. Maybe just one clef a month. That's entire theory, entire practice. And then maybe the second month you can play the French violin clef. The third month you could use the bass clef instead of the treble clef, right? You transpose. Then the fourth month switch to baritone, reading a baritone clef, and so on. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for your attention. This was Vidas. I have a training suggestion for you if you're interested into learning transposition. It's called Transposition Level 1. Um, it's a very useful course. I will have a link available in the description. You can check it out for yourself if you want to learn how to transpose. But level 1, nothing really crazy, nothing like wider intervals. All right. See you next time. This was Vidas. Let me know if it was useful.